What's up guys? We're hiking the Tour du Mont Blanc, and in this video we're going to give you a full hiking guide for the eastern part of the trek. Coming from Courmayeur in Italy, going through Switzerland, and then finishing in Chamonix, France. So hope you enjoy it. Spanning Italy, Switzerland, and France, the Tour du Mont Blanc is a popular hiking trail that encircles one of the most iconic mountains in all of Europe. Mont Blanc itself towers over the valleys below and is Western Europe's highest peak. This iconic trek is about 170 kilometers or 105 miles long and usually takes 8 to 12 days to complete. Along the way, you'll encounter charming villages, breathtaking lakes, lush valleys, and impressive glaciers. We embarked on a 6-day hike of the eastern section of the Tour du Mont Blanc, which started in Courmayeur, Italy, and ended in Chamonix, France. This part of the trek was about 90 kilometers or 56 miles, with over 5,000 meters or 16,404 feet of elevation gain. In this video, we'll take you on a day-by-day journey, highlighting the trail, stunning vistas, and accommodations. At the end, we'll also share essential hiking tips, including preparation, navigation, packing lists, and more. Now let's dive in. We are Zach and Ina. We make helpful videos about destinations around the world so you can easily plan your own adventures. The first day is the shortest as you ascend from Courmayeur to Rifugio Bertone in about 4.3 kilometers or 2.7 miles. As such, we recommend spending some time in Courmayeur before the hike. This charming alpine town is nestled at the foot of Mont Blanc and is home to a range of shops, sports stores, and restaurants. The hike from Courmayeur is pleasant overall, with a few challenging uphill stretches. The trail mostly goes through a forest, but near the top you can find a number of great viewpoints of Courmayeur and the valley. Right before getting to the Rifugio, you have amazing views of the imposing Mont Blanc. These will be your first glimpses of the impressive peak. Take your time here and soak in the stunning views. Just 5 minutes further up the hill is your accommodation for the night. Rifugio Bertone enjoys a beautiful setting, located high above the valley at 1,970 meters or 6,463 feet. While the facilities and dormitories are basic, the traditional food of the region and cozy atmosphere are well worth staying here. The second day of the Tour du Mont Blanc is very long. The trail initially follows an easy path through lush alpine meadows, gradually gaining elevation. The scenery of the valley below and the towering snowy peaks that dominate the horizon are absolutely breathtaking. This gradual section is about 12 kilometers or 7.5 miles and passes some waterfalls and ruins along the way. There's also a nice hut where you can take a short break and refill your water. After hiking to the bottom of the valley, it's time for the highlight of the day, the Col Ferret Pass. The top of this challenging climb marks the border between Italy and Switzerland. This pass is situated at 2,565 meters, or 8,415 feet, which makes it one of the highest points along the entire trail. And while the steep slopes can be brutal, the diverse landscapes you encounter and breathtaking views of the surrounding mountains are worth the effort.
It's super windy up here. It's really a grind to get to the top, so make sure you save your energy for this part.
Once you reach the pass, it's a steep descent into the Swiss Valley, where you'll arrive at your cozy accommodation for the night. We really enjoyed the local Swiss food after such a long day. The warm fireplace was also a welcome sight. The third day of the Tour du Mont Blanc is the longest in distance, but easiest in elevation. The trail initially descends to the town of Fouly at the valley floor, offering glimpses of the surrounding mountains. This is a great spot to grab a morning coffee and enjoy the views. After a relaxing break, you'll make your way through a thick forest and follow the course of a river, as well as pass a few charming Swiss villages. This valley is the perfect place to have a picnic, with a few small shops and places to eat and drink along the way. Finally, you start a steep climb up to Champex-Lac. This is an idyllic lake, as well as a town in the Swiss Alps. Right above the lake, you'll find Relais des Arpets. This charming mountain refuge provides a comfortable place to rest and recharge before continuing your journey around Mont Blanc. On day 4, you make your way to the Swiss village of Triënt. There is a choice between two scenic passes to get there. You can either choose the Fenêtre d'Arpets or the Col de Portelot. With nothing but sun in the forecast for the morning and early afternoon, we opted for the more scenic option, the Fenêtre d'Arpets. This challenging route was slightly shorter, but had more elevation gain and loss.
We have about 1.6 kilometers or 1 mile left to get to the top, with about 400 meters of elevation gain. It's very steep, but the views from the top should be worth it on a sunny day.
The ascent was challenging, with a gradual start that soon became steeper, especially the closer we got to the pass. The last section involves some boulder hopping and can be difficult when wet. It's therefore not recommended to do this hike when it's rainy, icy, or snowy. The top of the pass is 2,665 meters, or 8,743 feet. Your reward is panoramic vistas of a beautiful lake and a giant glacier. Take a moment to rest and appreciate your accomplishment. After taking in the views, you face an extremely steep descent of about 4 kilometers or 2.5 miles, with an elevation loss of 1,340 meters or 4,396 feet before reaching the town of Triënt. Don't underestimate this section as it's strenuous on the knees and legs. There are also limited water sources along this trail, so make sure to bring at least 2 to 3 liters per person. Once you get to your Triënt accommodation, reward yourself with a well-deserved cheese fondue and a good beer or wine. The fifth day of the Tour du Mont Blanc is another challenging one. The first 6 kilometers, or 3.7 miles, lead to another mountain pass, the Col de la Balme. This is not only the border between Switzerland and France, but it also brings you to Chamonix Valley. From the summit, you have an impressive view of some imposing peaks. This was also one of our favorite angles to view the iconic Mont Blanc from. There's also a small restaurant where you can have a tasty lunch before tackling the second half of the day. From the Col de la Balme, you follow a wide-open meadow until you reach a wild ridgeline. Take in the last scenic views before descending into the valley. The hike down is another steep one, and you will lose approximately 800 meters or 2,624 feet of elevation. Make sure to look down at the trail for safety, since you might encounter some interesting creatures on this section of the hike. After the long descent, you'll arrive at the last refuge of the trip, where you can indulge in some local French cuisine. The last day is one of the most exciting, rewarding, and scenic ones of the hike since it takes you high above the Chamonix Valley. The trail starts with a steep hike up into the forest until you quickly get above the tree line. It becomes very interesting from this point on. You'll encounter impressive rock formations and a series of steel ladders, cables, and stairs.
Made it to the ladder section here, so time to put the poles away and keep at least one hand on at all times because there is some exposure, so you have to stay safe on this one.
After the strenuous uphill hike, the trail enters into a nature reserve, where you find a string of small lakes. These lakes offer a tranquil atmosphere and breathtaking view of Mont Blanc, as well as its surrounding mountains. These lakes aren't too crowded and make for great pictures in front of the reflecting mountains. After another 20 minutes of hiking, you'll arrive at Lac Blanc, which is the final highlight of the day. You can walk around the lake and see the colors from many angles. Relax and take in the beautiful views here. There's also a small restaurant that serves some French specialties. After taking some last pictures at the lake, it's time to hike down to the cable car station. We hiked down to La Flégère as that was the last station open for the season. It was a great feeling of accomplishment to finish the trek. When we got to the valley floor, we enjoyed a walk around the famous mountain town of Chamonix to cap off the adventure. As we promised at the start of the video, we'll now share some key hiking tips to help you on your own trip. First, this trek is no walk in the park. With lots of elevation gain and elevation loss every day, the Tour du Mont Blanc is a trek for experienced hikers. Having a strong foundation in physical fitness, as well as experience navigating difficult terrain, is crucial. You should consider this trek a graduation ceremony after completing at least a few other multi-day hikes first. We've completed over 10 multi-day treks, and this one was the hardest physical challenge for us. Mountain huts are all over the trail, but booking well in advance is essential. Choose shelters strategically, considering daily distances and meal times. Most accommodations include dinner and breakfast with set schedules. Factor their meal times into your daily plan to avoid missing out on a delicious post-hike meal. During our trek, dinner was typically served around 7 p.m., and breakfast was between 7 and 8 a.m. Lunch options vary. Some days, you can pre-order a packed lunch from the previous refuge. At other times, you can find cafes, restaurants, or shops along the trail. Be prepared for dormitory-style accommodations with shared rooms. Some accommodations also had a fireplace, which made it more comfortable at night. Sheets were provided, but we were required to bring sleeping bag liners of our own. There were also showers with hot water, although most showers had a time limit of 2 to 5 minutes. We booked our trek with the company Book-a-Trekking, who booked all the accommodations for us. It's a good option if you don't have a lot of time to plan and book things yourself, since they take care of most logistics. It's also possible to join a group tour if you're more comfortable having a guide. We have links to a map with all of the accommodation options along the trail, as well as the Book-a-Trekking website. You can find those links in the description below the video. The French mountain town of Chamonix is a popular place to base yourself before and after the trek. We left our car at the hotel while we did the hike. Ask your hotel beforehand about parking a car there, since it's not always allowed. Getting to Courmayeur in Italy, which is the starting point of the trail, requires some additional planning. There is a tunnel that connects Chamonix and Courmayeur, which takes less than 30 minutes. However, this tunnel periodically closes, so make sure to check this closure in advance. This was unfortunately the case for us, forcing a long detour by car. This detour takes around 3 hours, and the cost at the time of this video was 500 euros. Alternatively, consider taking the cable car option over the mountain. Starting from Chamonix, you first take the Aiguille du Midi cable car, then change to the panoramic Mont Blanc to Point Hellbronner. You finish by taking the Skyway down to Courmayeur. Keep in mind that this route is very weather dependent and is closed if the conditions are poor. And while it's quite expensive as well, it's a very scenic experience. We couldn't do this option since there were high winds and cloudy conditions on the day that we needed to get to Courmayeur. Thus, we took the taxi option and split the cost with our hiking group. While marked trails guide your way along the entire hike, Signage styles vary across countries. Instead of relying solely on these markers, we recommend downloading an offline navigation app to stay on the trail. AllTrails or Komoot are both good options for downloading the route offline. In our case, the GPX track links were provided in Komoot by the Book a Trekking website we used. Mountain weather is notoriously unpredictable. You should expect microclimates throughout the trek. One valley could be basking in sunshine, while another valley is receiving a downpour of rain. The app yr.no proved to be a reliable weather predictor for us. Remember, wet weather can significantly alter trail conditions, making some sections slippery and potentially dangerous. The optimal hiking window is between July and September. If you go earlier or later in the season, significant snow cover might hamper your progress. Finally, you're going to want to pack all of the essential items for the hike. We've put a list on the screen here, so feel free to pause the video and write them down or take a screenshot. If there's one essential item you definitely need, it's a good set of hiking poles. These will help a lot with the massive elevation changes throughout the trek. And if you're planning for your own Mont Blanc hike, we recommend keeping things organized with our interactive travel planner. Find a discount code in the description below the video. We also included important links you'll need for your own trip in the description. These include links to the trail, the Book a Trekking website, and the hotels we booked in Chamonix and Courmayeur. We'll catch you on the next adventure.